Hello, folks. This is the problem from homework two, uh, problem one, and I talked about it in class, but I also did the base for you in the lab. But using your own dimensions, we would like to create this assembly uh, part assembly of parts, and later on in the course, we will actually uh, animate this thing by making sure that the bottom of this link follows that path, and then we put some physics into it. But right now, we just want to create let me see now, one, two, three, four, five parts, and make sure assembly constraints are applied. We don't have to see this thing, so I'm going to maximize my screen. Excuse me. I've created a product here, so let me call this thing robotic arm. Properties, I'll call this thing robotic arm. All right. And then we say OK. Immediately save it. So file, save management, save as. I'll create a folder. Desktop, create a folder. And the folder, I'll call it uh, homework 2, problem 1. Problem 1. Okay, so all the stuff is going to go in there. Let's do the base first. So insert new part in there, and I'm going to call this thing the base. Where is this? This is the part name, so we'll call it the base. And this is the instance name. I always call them to be the same. They don't have to be. Just make it. To make it, I'll go to this branch. We end up part design. On that horizontal plane, I'll sketch. And I did this thing in class, so probably you know what's going on here. So anyway, I'll draw something like that. And I draw a circle in the middle. And another circle concentric with it. And you see why I do this in a minute, because I want to do a multi-path to make my job easier as far as making the part is concerned. All right, so here is the path. I don't want the path. I want a multi-path right there, multi-path. This, and it recognizes that there are three curves here. So these three curves are listed there. So this one is going to the square one. So I'm going to make pad this thing, let's say by 0.1. If things don't look good, I'm going to change these numbers. There we are. And then this last one is the bigger circle. So I'm going to make pad it by 1. Okay. Maybe higher. Maybe 4. 4. Oh, this one by 4. Okay, that's good. And then this one, the middle one is the little circle, so I'm going to pad it by 4.5. There. I mean, you have to create this thing, bro. There are other ways of doing it. Make a box, draw a circle, pad it on that top face, make a circle, pad it, etc. It's up to you. Now that you have done the 5-save management, to save the stuff, all you have to do is to click on this save floppy down. Let's do link number 1 now. Link number 1 is, oops, not this one. Link number 1 is this, okay? All right. So insert, new part. Always say no. Properties, and I suggest you read that message at least once so that you know what it's talking about. So link 1, and if you have any questions, ask me in the lab / lecture. Link 1. Let's go make it. To make it, I double click on this. Now, to make uh, since I want to do a lot of work, so on that top plate, on this top face right there, I will sketch. And to make my job easier, what I'm going to do is I'm going to project that circle. I just have to, I can draw a circle that size. So where is it? I don't want the surface. Cancel that. Try it again. Okay, so something must have been projected. We'll find out where it is. If not, then we're going to do it a different way. Well, right there. It was there. Okay, so let's look at the normal from the front. And let me complete the rest of this thing by drawing maybe a slotted, yeah, elongated hole. And we'll clean it up in a minute. Okay, so let me make this thing drag it a little bit more. That's going to be link number one, except that I insist on making this concentric with that. There's no reason to do that, but I like it better. Please, when you're writing a test or a test or doing a project, etc., make sure you respect dimension if you're given a constraint. So anyway, selected these two and I go down here and I say make it concentric. Okay, good. And do another circle on this side. I'm not going to worry about the actual size. Right there. I'm sure it's concentric now. Exit and then add it. Much, maybe point 3. Okay. Then I'm going to do the link number 2. Link number 2 is going to go into that. So double click up there, save it with the floppy. Excuse me. So on that vertical plane, first you have to go into part design, insert, insert, new part. Oops. Okay, let's try it again. Insert, new part in there, and call the thing link number 2. Link 2 and link 2. Okay, let's go make it. Double click on this branch. You go into part design. On that plane, I will sketch. I'm doing the top-down approach. In other words, I do these things as I go along. I'm going to project, let's project that circle, project that circle. It's projected, you can see that. And then a elongated hole. Okay. And then make this thing, control that thing, concentric. Good. And make a hole here, or make a circle there. Zoom in. Okay. Exit. Now, I want this thing to be a pin that's going to go into that hole and this thing to be an actual hole. Let me hide this thing so they have a better idea what's going on. I want this thing to be a pin, this thing become a hole. So I do a multipath of this. There are 3 curves here. This is the big one. So let me make that thing maybe 0.4. Okay. All right. This one is the small one on that side. I want it to be a hole, so leave it as 0. And this is the hole on the right side, and I want this thing to be a pin. So let me make this thing 0.5. Obviously, it has to be bigger than 0.4 because otherwise 0.4 will be the same height. I'll make it 0.5. So this is what happened. All right. Where's the other guy that's hiding? So let's get the other guy back. It's right here. Let me bring it into the show mode right there. All right. Then I'm going to do link number 3 all the way to the top. Save. Insert. New part. No. I'm going to call this thing link number 3. Properties. Link 3. Link 3. That's the vertical pin or vertical part that's going up and down. Link 3. Say OK. Double click. All right. On that face, I will sketch. I want to sketch a circle this size, but to do that, instead I'm going to project that circle and use it for good, for padding purposes. There, and then you pad it as high as you want. Maybe make it mirror extend. I'll make this thing two. We can change these things if you don't want. Okay, and on purpose, at the bottom of this, in other words, the center of that circle, I'll create a point because later on I want to bring that point and put it on the path. Okay, so we let's see now. Here is the reference elements: plane, line, point. Click on the point, and the method that you want to use it is called the circle center. Circle center. So I select that circle. It's created a point right up there, and I'm happy with it. And that point is actually in this link 3 that I made. So we'll go all the way to the top, click on the floppy. And the last thing that I want to do is to create the path. So here's what I'm going to do. Insert my last part, new part. No. And I will go here, call this thing the path, right click properties, path and path. Okay. And double click on the path. Now, my path seems to be, it looks like what is that? It looks like an ellipse, some kind of an ellipse, or a circle, or a spline. It really doesn't matter, but at an incline. So what I'm going to do is I will make a plane, while I'm in this path, I'll make a plane that's at an incline with respect to one of these planes. So how do you do that? Reference plane. And the method that you want to use it is by calling angle through a plane. Angle and normal to a plane. So you click on it, it asks a few questions. Rotation axis, why don't I use, for example, this? Notice that as soon as I do that, create a plane. This is rotation axis. And the reference, I'm going to use the side plane. Notice that as soon as I did that, it actually created a vertical plane here, but at angle 0. Now I'm going to tilt this thing by changing it angle. Notice that it is changing it. Yeah, that's good. Excellent. Okay, very good. So now on that plane, I will sketch whatever path I want. So for example, let me actually do an ellipse. Where's the ellipse? Here, right there. You see that? Here's an ellipse. So I'll make something like this, like that. Exit, and there we go. The only thing is that the location of this ellipse is too far from this extended arm. So I'm going to move it a little bit this way so that in real life, this point should go all the way around. So let me go back here because the ellipse was not properly or dimension sized location. Okay, right there. I can move it without any issues. So right there. And yeah, okay, you might say that, wait a minute, go through that base. Fine, no problem. Right there. Okay, good. All right, all the way to the top. Oh, by the way, what I'm going to do is right now, uh, yeah, okay, so we go all the way to the top and click on the floppy. Everything is made. Now we're going to go on apply our constraints. See now. The first thing we're going to do is we fix that base, fix this base so that things don't move. Let me move these things apart so that you can see what's going on. So for example, this one, I'm going to translate it like that, like so, and like so. Okay. Then I'm going to install that on top of this. So coincidence between this axis and that axis, and coincidence between this plane, yeah, this plane, and this plane. Now notice that I rotated to pick the bottom one, but it doesn't have to be. I can select the top one, but then these arrows I have to flip if needed. So let's see now. If I update, this is going to go on top of that. Good. Now let's install this inside of that. Coincidence between this axis and that axis. It doesn't matter if we select the outside one or the inside hole because these are concentric anyways. And on purpose, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say coincidence between this plane and this plane. And if things don't work out, I flip it. Okay, so we say okay and update. You see this? That's not what I want. So what I can do is I can go to that last constraint. This is the one. Double click on it, flip the arrows. It flipped the whole thing so that it looks nicer. Right there. Good. And now coincidence between this axis and that axis. That's pretty much it. So update. And I'm going to put this point on that curve. So coincidence between this point and that curve, update, and there we are. Okay, so first of all, how do I know that this is working fine? Let me move these things apart. For example, let me rotate this about that, rotate this about this, maybe translate that, and I say okay, and update. There we are. Okay. The other thing I can do is actually the explode. Let's fix the base. Let's fix the base. Fix product is the base. We say okay. There we are. If the assembly constraints are okay, for update, they will go back to where they were. The last thing I'm going to try is I'm going to click on move, check this box, and I'm going to rotate this arm or that arm about the axis of that thing. Let's see. Ah, the only thing is that really the problem is that I could have created this path belonging to the base, or the way I did it now, I have to say kind of rigidly attach it. Let me show what I mean by that. Say okay, because that path is fixed in space, right? So I can say, okay, rigidly attach this fix together this path and the base. The base is stationary. And let's try it now. Rotate about this. You see? That's the way it should be. Yeah? Good. So that takes care of I mean, we're going to do the animation motion of this, create video file, and then at the end, in 2-3 weeks, we're going to put physics into the problem. Maybe in 2 weeks. All right. Good luck.